you could do
So
that.
today we're trying to deal with the shirts. We're trying to deal with the decals. I would like to go up one last time and just take 5 minutes. Just tell them it's just probably not, but we just want to walk through that Northern Lite just to rule it out.
Yeah, because somebody actually messaged you today
Yeah.
asking if the camper was available for sale still.
Right. And
You got 2 days.
yeah, that's basically it. And okay, this is potentially the decision we should have made. Oh no. It's no slide. So if we're traveling and we got to stop, sort of stealth camp.
This is the wet dry bath. A lot smaller than the camper we currently have, but usable. A lot less storage. But this closes up. There it is. Quite a big closet with a hangy racky thing. Storage in here. And 3 of these drawers. 3, yeah. Another pretty deep skinny closet. Drawer, big fridge. There's a lot less storage. I definitely wouldn't be able to make bread in this oven. I bought a small Dutch oven and it won't fit, so I would probably have to use tiny loaf pans, but then it would burn. I don't know. That's a problem. But
It is a problem.
yeah. Oh, paper towel holder. We could put the spices we use daily here.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I know.
The bed is,
Full residential queen.
yeah,
But then it is in ours
it is
too.
in the Lance too, but we don't have a closet in this one that's like, there's a big closet in our camper that we currently have. This one has a little closet, but it's really deep. So we could put dirty laundry down there and hanging clothes there.
I don't know, this just seems more open, like it's going to get better air conditioning, better heat, better,
Yeah.
you know, a
And
lot
we
of
got
things.
these cupboards.
Some of the things that I really like is in ours, the blinds clank, 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 clank like this. This is part of the window, right? It comes down like that. There's your screen. Okay, you want the day-night.
Yeah.
Okay,
And you
then
can
you can
have it.
still,
Yeah.
I think it comes down, yeah, like that, right?
Yeah.
That's huge. And in ours, here, can you get that side? Oh, you have to push the button. Yeah, like you can,
Yeah.
you can open them right up.
Yeah.
And then, screen.
Yeah. Oh, you're crooked.
Well,
And ours has that screwy knob thing that puts the windows out, just tilts them a bit, and you don't get
Right.
the airflow through. I do really.
this is huge. And I know that it's ridiculous, but it really is something. I think for what we're, the trip that we're about to embark on, this is the less stressful, the makes it easier. That everything that you can do, if you can shave a couple of steps off it, it just makes it easier. And because when we're traveling, it's different. Like if we were going from our house to just the racetrack, or we were going to the lake and we were going to camp for the weekend, and we're at the lake, you go there, you set up, one and done, you're there for 3-4 days. I would say Lance,
Hands down.
hands down. If every 3 or 4 hours we're going to stop or less and get out of the truck and access, put the dogs in quickly, access the camper, go pee,
have lunch.
have lunch, whatever, and then be back on the road.
Yeah.
The Lance is the problem.
Right.
For this particular style of trip is hands down better.
Right.
They both play a different role. Now, the Lance cannot do what this can do. This can comfortably have you taken care of for a weekend at the racetrack.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
There's no.
Yeah, I don't know. I've already made the first mistake. This would be a decision that you would make.
Well, this is the one I chose to begin with.
Right. I know.
But now, having ours and this one, I'm kind of second guessing this one because, like, our dog's getting in the fight in the other one. There's way more room. But really, is there, like, the square footage of usable room? There's just an extra couch.
Right.
That the dogs could go on in the other one.
Yeah,
and the bathroom is a lot smaller, which is kind of shit, but...
Well, it actually works better because when I did use the toilet, I was very frustrated because my legs, I'm pinched between the cupboard and the door. Yeah. And even with the door open, the wall is there. I need to, I'm old, I'm fat. I need to get some space. There's space for a man to sit and do proper business.
Yeah.
In there. And the shower, I could definitely do it. I don't know. This is so much more convenient in so many ways. The windows are, oh my God, way better. Like the cross ventilation that you're going to get. How do these? I don't know how they work, but it's there's 3 on each window. So, and then you open it like that, right? The cross ventilation that you'd get, you could probably get away with a couple of fans and not even use the AC, right?
Well, that's what I was thinking too, for the most part. Unless it's like, we're at the racetrack and it's 35, 40 degrees, then you would turn it on. But if there's a breeze.
But at the racetrack, we're going to have the trailer, we're going to have the generator, we're going to have, because this does not come as it is optioned with the generator. This one doesn't have an onboard generator, same as our Lance. Right. So.
But there is a space on the back.
Which we could.
That we could put a generator.
Yes. Yeah, there is. Okay, so that was today. We went to the Northern Lite dealer in Summerland and essentially to do a final walkthrough and decide that, no, we're fine, we're good, we're going to stick with the Lance 1172 that we've already purchased. And the problem we run into is while we were there trying to talk ourselves out of it, we started seeing all of the things that actually would work better for our trip. And as I explained, if we were going to a campsite for a weekend, the Lance, 100%. But on this trip that we're going to take across Canada, we're going to be driving 5 or 6 hours a day. We're going to, need access to the camper probably several times because in that 5 or 6 hours of driving, it's probably going to take us 8 to 10 hours. So as we're driving, you're going to stop, jump in the camper, have lunch. My wife's going to need to go pee half a dozen times. If we see something and it's hot out, we're going to, put the dogs in the camper with the AC on and you can't leave them in the truck, right? If we want to go in somewhere and we can't take the dogs, you can't take dogs everywhere, and especially ours. You'll get to know our dogs. They're Australian cattle dogs. They're working dogs. They're they're super friendly. They love people. They love everybody. But another dog could rub them the wrong way. So we understand. We've owned a lot of cattle dogs throughout our entire marriage. And you have to understand how to have an Australian cattle dog and understand their limitations. Don't put them in a position to fail. So, as a responsible dog understanding owner, we don't just take them everywhere. So, it's important to be able to put them in the camper. So, we're going to be driving, stopping throughout the day. And so while we're there trying to talk ourselves into the Lance and out of the Northern Lite, all of the reasons where the Northern Lite works better for us was just right there in our face. And so now we have a hell of a predicament. We just bought the Lance. And now we're sitting there going, well, it's not going to work. Of course, you can make anything work for any situation, and I understand that. You can, what it's called is make do. But if you have an option to not make do and to figure out a way to, if we can trade our Lance in and not get beat up too bad, or, there's a fellow that's interested in purchasing it, if that goes through, or God knows what, if the stars align and it works out for us. Either way, it's got to be done quick because we want to put solar on it. However, the Northern Lite has 600 watts of solar on the roof. So, all we need to do is throw a couple of big lithium batteries in. Oh, the other cool thing about the Northern Lite is the charge controller already can do lithium, whereas our Lance can't. So that has to get changed. All we have to do is put DC to DC charge to the truck, big 50 amp, soft start in the AC, the two big SOK 314 amp hour batteries, and the Victron big inverter. And then that's it. We're good. Because, as I stated, and I apologize if I'm repetitive, but when we want to stop somewhere and you got to put slides out. Well, slides being out, one, you're encroaching into another parking spot if you're in like a truck stop for that big side slide. And if you're trying to be stealth about it, right? Slides out, kind of a telltale you're in there. Whereas the Northern Lite, you put up the blackout shades, you go in there, you're done. And it's less like you're making camp. Now, obviously, in our travels, we want to try to get down beside that beautiful lake or beside that river or that nice, we're boondockers. We try to, camp overnight. I don't want to pay $75, $85, $100 a night to camp just to sleep, wake up in the morning and go again. We're going to be hit hard enough with the price of fuel these days. I can't add, campgrounds on top of that. So the other thing is this camper is another foot shorter than the Lance, which makes us even that much more, agile in when we get into city. It's about 900 pounds lighter. It's so much easier for random access for a traveling situation without going travel van. We so desperately wanted a 4-wheel drive Sprinter travel van, and we looked at them, and they're just too small. Even a small camper is way bigger than a Sprinter travel van. So, like the last, I don't know if it was I think it was a video that we made.
Stated, decision finally made. Yeah, the decision is not finally made. It may make itself for us, if they hammer us, if they make us a terrible offer on a trade, or the old guy that called me tonight and was interested in purchasing it was just, wasting time. Hard to say. Anyways, as soon as we know more, we'll let you know. So thank you.